What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Game Show presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my beautiful co-host, Josh, John, Luke. What's up, guys?
What up?
Yeah! I knew you were going to scream. I wanted to do it with you. Guys, also joining us today, another member of the Front Yard fam. He's got the swag on his head, Joey Wright. Welcome in.
How we doing?
Phenomenal. Couldn't be
great.
better.
Awesome.
Look at this.
It's Monday.
It's
Monday. The vibes are here.
It's a good Monday.
Guys,
loving it,
last but not definitely least, it's up for debate, is one of our good friends, great friend of the show, Jordan Vanek is here with us. You can find him on Twitter at Jordan Vanek DFS. It is right there below his handsome face on the screen. For those of you that do not know Jordan, he is a DFS whiz. He's a DFS writer over at 444 Football, a contributor at awesomeo.com, and he recently just started working with CBS as an associate website director. Jordan, thank you so much for coming on with us today, my man.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I was like setting up the thing. I'm like, is my camera dusty? Like, what the hell's going on? But it's been a fun off season. I regret trying to build a projection model to start this off season because now Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams get traded. Things get a little bit funky with. Is he going to be this good with Tua, or is he going to be that good with Derek Carr? So I'm excited to see what this NFL draft shapes out to be, and just moving forward with who gets traded next.
There we go. It's been absolutely crazy so far, guys. We got some people in the chat ready for today's draft. It is a tight end premium Superflex PPR Dynasty startup mock draft. A lot of words on this one, but with that in mind, Jay Wall in here saying Kyle Pitts 101.
101.
We'll see. It's up for
probably not.
Definitely could be.
If you did it, I wouldn't fall.
I'm picking 101, and I'll let you know right now.
Do it.
I may or may not do it.
Wow, those are the two options. We got Maria in here, says JL Garofalo 101.
Stop.
Gross. No.
Eric, welcome into Mock Draft Monday. He said it is Monday, right? Yeah, it feels like the week's been going on for a couple days already, though. Like this week's just hit the ground running. Jay Wall, excited that Jordan is in here. And Mr. Skimmer said, big show today. Hey, peeps, it is a big show for Monday. Dame, welcome in. Hello. Glad to have you here.
Hello, Dame.
And Craig said, great to see Jordan's beautiful mug back on the show. It is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's all right.
It's all right.
It's okay.
It's pretty good.
Right.
Justin, welcome in. What's up? It's just saying happy Monday mock. It is a happy Monday mock.
Happy
we'll see
Monday.
how happy everyone
So
here
happy.
mocking is
What up,
after we
Justin?
get a couple rounds in.
I'm so ready.
Mike said, I'm going to Will Smith jail when I see him. What's
does
up,
that mean?
everyone else?
Whoa. Hey. Never mind. I'm going to be nice.
I'm gonna be flinching the whole time.
If there's one thing not enough people are talking about, Will Smith's ability to smack someone is top tier. All right,
The form.
Forget the
the form.
consequences of it, the reasons
Yes.
behind it. You're just talking exclusively.
form. The way he did it just his whole form about it. Like yeah, I'm impressed.
And you know what? Chris Rock's form wasn't too bad either. Taking it to stay on his feet like that after us, like that was some pretty
honestly
good form to absorb.
like because he was like okay.
And Eric is saying elite smack form. Guys, before we get started with today's show, a couple reminders. Number one, if you are not already following our guest Jordan, go and fix that right this instant at Jordan Vanek DFS. He will help hook you up with a lot of the best DFS advice in this space. And if you play college football DFS as well, this guy's the man when it comes to college football DFS. So make sure you are following him over there. After you do that, if you're watching this show, that means you are already on our YouTube or Twitch channels. If you're on Twitch, hit that follow button right now. If you're on YouTube, in about 5 seconds, hit that subscribe button because you need to leave time for the Twitch follow. And then make sure you like this video. It is the easiest way to show your support for what we are doing over here. And then, Joey, we just launched the Front Yard Fantasy newsletter. Do you want to tell people a little bit about what we're doing with that? I know you've taken a big role, a big lead in pushing that out. So do you want to tell people about it and where they can sign up?
Yeah. So we've got a newsletter coming out every Thursday morning. You can go to our Discord, is the easiest way probably. But I do believe it's pinned on Twitter right now. And we've got all kinds of stuff in there. We got Dynasty rankings. We have, I think last week we had Simon's Denim Essentials. So a lot of stuff FYF. You can keep track of our shows. Where we're going to be for the week. It's just a really cool newsletter.
Trivia.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much stuff. There's going to be a rotating list of like columns going on in there.
We could spend the whole show just telling you. What's
really, we have so many different things. Josh's
anything.
wide receiver dynasty rankings will be on this.
Watch out.
Will be
Watch out.
My hand drawings. You never know.
Speaking of dynasty rankings, I just put together a quarterbacks tier dynasty rankings video. It's going to be coming out right after this stream. Right after this
JL,
stream.
did you say your ham drawings?
Yeah, my drawings of ham.
Okay.
Actually?
Yeah, I do know you've had a passion for drawing ham since you were little.
What can I say?
It's been incredible.
The bug caught me early.
Swamp, welcome in. Glad to have you here. But Swamp's at work and he cries.
You guys want a little preview? Check out that bad boy.
That's a great ham.
Honestly,
That's a great ham.
Honestly, Dale, I'm moderately impressed. I would have known that was ham if you showed that to me. And that's,
and that was like 5
bad.
seconds.
I would have probably
Or like a
it.
dead fish, like cut off head. Yeah.
What kind of fish has a bone like that at the end? You guys need to brush up on your fish
head.
anatomy.
I'm not saying JL was drawing it realistically. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying maybe that's what he thinks.
Guys, today, like I mentioned, we are doing a mock draft. It is already full from our Discord today. If you missed out on joining our mock draft, go and join our Discord to make sure that you can get in on the next one, is where we post the link before the stream starts, and only the leftover spots get divvied out on the stream. So unless you just want the leftovers whenever they're available, make sure you join our Discord so you can get that first serving of spots available in the mock draft. Like I mentioned, guys, today we are doing a tight end premium Superflex Dynasty startup mock draft. So one by one, I'm just going to run through what those things mean. Tight end premium means that where it's normal PPR for all other positions, 1 point per reception, tight ends are now going to get 1.5 points per reception. So they're a little bit elevated in the way they are scored, so they become a little bit more valuable. Superflex means that instead of starting one quarterback, Jordan said I'm out of here as soon as you said Superflex. There's going to be a second spot, a second flex spot that where you can start a wide receiver, running back, tight end, or a quarterback. So in most cases, you're going to want to start 2 quarterbacks in these leagues, as quarterbacks generally score the most fantasy points. So quarterbacks value get bumped up a little bit. Dynasty just means we keep the players forever. This draft is going to include rookies, so maybe age situation comes a little bit more of a concern here. And just one last reminder, Sleeper did not have the designation for Dynasty Superflex tight end premium. So the tight end premium aspect of this is not included in their ADP. So the names listed down below, the tight ends are probably lower than where they're actually going to get drafted. So just a note whenever you're drafting right there. Scott Fish in here said, JL considering going pro and ham drawing, but chronic hand pain forced them out of the tournament circuit. Is that true, JL?
These Dan hams.
These Dan hams.
These Dan hams. Got me good.
SMM said, I thought it was a real ham for a second, to be honest.
I'm so hungry.
10 out of 10 ham, especially for a vegetarian.
That's true. That's true. I can draw a ham.
We got Davis in here. Says, please don't mock me. And then he said, mock. Good one. What's up, Pangs Picks? Glad to have you in here. Are you guys ready to start this mock draft?
Yep, I'm opening the window right now.
You've got the first pick, JL. Where's everyone drafted from? Dale's drafting from the 1, Joey from the 5, Josh from the 9, and Jordan from the 12.
Jordan loves his ends.
Yeah,
right? I like the ends of drafts.
I like seeing the chaos start.
Yeah, I'm going to start it. Dale, you are on the clock with the first pick in this draft.
Chiming noise.
Hey guys, I have a trivia question for you. Jordan, I don't want you to answer it because I'm going to assume you know it. You probably don't, but I'm going to just assume you know it because you work for CBS. But what's CBS stand for? Anyone know?
Oh my God, Jordan! Oh dear God! Pictures on Jordan's screen.
It's just right.
CBS something broadcasts.
It's Central Broadcasting Service.
Celery.
What the heck did I just see?
Celery butt station.
CBS stands for Columbia Broadcasting System.
Oh, pretty close.
Yeah,
Apart from the Columbia.
Do you guys know why it's Columbia?
Why?
Okay,
I thought you had something, man.
I mean, technically, the company I will be getting work or whatever is Paramount Global because that's their actual name. They just not going to reframe the network.
I was so confused why CBS All Access became Paramount Plus. Like they switched it over. It used to just be the Big Brother Survivor.
Does anybody pay for that?
I do for Big
Paramount
Brother.
Plus actually
it's
got a few.
They've got some great movies. They've got if you want to do throwback old school MTV shows, like you want to watch some like early 2000s Next or Parental Control.
That's your
It's
favorite.
all on there. I do. I love those.
Parental
shows
Control
so
was
much.
so dumb.
Oh, it was the worst.
It's so
Let's
funny.
be honest. Like there was like cameras. They knew the cameras were in there, right?
Oh, it was
Like,
100% staged, every aspect
Yeah,
of it.
had to.
they had to. Like they would have caught some unfortunate things if like they were actually like spying on it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kind of know what I'm saying?
I just wouldn't want to have my parents watch me go on a date. I'm
Exactly.
good. I'm fine.
I'm pretty sure one of my like family friends growing up, like my best friend's sister went on one of those shows.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's I need to hear all about the experience.
One of my good friends growing up was on Cops getting arrested, but
I knew
that's a good one.
I knew a guy that was on Cops and got arrested.
Nice.
Same guy.
Yeah.
No, I hope not, Joey.
Oh,
Boy,
hi.
that landed as good as Will Smith's hand.
I
on
got
Chris
you. I
Rock's
got
face.
you, Joey. We got Tammy in here. Wanted to know if we do our normal leagues and sleeper. So I know there's a mix, but the vast majority of my leagues are on sleeper, Tammy, and it is my preferred platform for season-long leagues. Josh, I see you nodding your head. Do you have any other websites that you prefer, or sleeper your preferred?
By far my preferred platform. I love everything that Sleeper does, to be completely honest. I do have 3 leagues that still run through ESPN. Their leagues have been going through ESPN for the last 10 years or so. So before even Sleeper was around, and it's Sleeper. Sleeper's
Some
the
industry
one
league on
exactly.
RT Sports. RT Sports, I think, is one that we use.
Yep, and that's where Pros with Joes is as well, right? RT Sports. I believe
So-
we had 2 leagues on there this year.
MFL for Scott Fishbowl.
Exactly. MFL is the other one.
Josh, how do you feel about CBS's platform? Drafting
Love it. I love it. I have used CVS platform in the past. There was 3 years in a row. My one friend did a $500 buy-in work league, and I did the auction draft for him every year, and he would split the winnings with me, and I just like would run the league with him.
That's
And
how you do it.
yeah, so that's the only time I've ever been on CBS's platform, actually.
Yeah. I have nothing but great things to say about CBS, especially tomorrow at 1:00.
What
Guys,
are you doing at 1 o'clock tomorrow? Oh, I'm on the drive. I'm on
The same thing you'll be doing.
Guys, the first round wrapped up, and it's a little bit interesting. There are a couple
It
things
is.
I wanted to hit on right here. Our first wide receiver. So we've seen Jamar Chase go as high as 101 in these startup drafts, guys. He was drafted at the 108. There were a couple quarterbacks that I feel like we usually see him taken ahead of. Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow go ahead of Jamar Chase. JL, how do you feel about that spot for him? Would you draft him ahead of any of the guys that got drafted before him?
I would consider drafting him ahead of Pitts and Jonathan Taylor.
But all 5 of these quarterbacks are drafting ahead of him.
It depends. I think it's perfectly fine to swap them in. I wouldn't have taken Herbert as high, probably, but I would have taken Kyler a little higher. But it just depends on how I want to strategize that draft. I think you could take either one.
Joey, and was Jonathan Taylor the player you were hoping for at the 5 spot, or was that he's available, I'm going to take him?
I had 5 guys, and I was happy to take whoever was 5th.
And was that the 5th one? Were the other
There's a
4
prize.
taken?
I got the 4th one.
You got
I
the
would have
4th
taken. I would have Pitts and Herbert. I would flop. I don't hate that pick, but I would have taken Pitts before Herbert and then Taylor.
There we go. And Jordan, you were one of only 2 teams without a quarterback in this situation. And as the second running back off the board, you went Javonte Williams there at the end of the first round, which is not super anti-consensus. I've seen him as high as number 2 overall before. I haven't seen anyone put him above Jonathan Taylor, but multiple people at 2. You want to tell us a little bit about why you took Javonte Williams and if you're comfortable without a quarterback at this point?
So, the quarterbacks that are just kind of coming into the league, it feels like a lot of them are getting to that like 17, 18 point range. There's just a ton of new faces, like even your Tuas of the world who just completely upgraded at quarterback. Derek Carr, who completely upgraded as well from an offensive standpoint. And when I was pulling the data for Javonte Williams, like the impact Russell Wilson's going to have alongside the like division that they play in, from the data of these defensive coordinators from previous years, he's going to be in a division in a situation where they're going to play a lower or lighter block box on most occasions. And this season, I think as long as they haven't brought in Melvin Gordon again, they haven't added that running back room. As of right now, I think he's kind of a lock for a top 5 season. we saw Aaron Jones get top 5 seasons left and right in Green Bay. This is a situation where he can handle more of the work, and he's going to be playing with an offense that's going to continue that light box, that easygoing type of running lanes, especially with Russell Wilson instead of Drew Lock.
There we go. That makes sense to me. I still don't have Javonte Williams quite as high, but I totally understand the reasoning right there. And then AJ Brown's a superstar wide receiver. He was like near consensus number 1 overall going into last season. I think people are going to get some nice values on him this year. Josh, you started with 2 quarterbacks, Kyler Murray and Deshaun Watson, which I feel like in all of the Superflex mocks that we've done, I'm not sure I've seen you with a double quarterback start. How does that affect the rest of your draft?
Well, I'm not going. I mean, if I took a quarterback with my next pick, I don't think it would be the craziest thing to do in the world in a Superflex league. You know, you get your quarterbacks the cheapest in the NFL draft, right? I mean, in your startup drafts and your rookie drafts. So they're really tough to trade for when it comes down to it. So people are trying to build their teams when they're doing these dynasty startups and they're trying to fill an entire team when that's not always the right way to do it. If you know the league's going to be trading a lot, you can grab 3 quarterbacks and you can play around with that and kind of figure out what you need later and make some good trades that help your team. So but having said that, I'm probably not going to draft another quarterback for a little while now, but I feel Deshaun Watson, he might be suspended next year. I'm still going to need a 3rd guy regardless. But I'm going to wait on him. I'm going to think I can get a guy pretty late here. And when it comes down to it, these were my top 2 ranked guys at my current draft position. Kyler Murray, I was deciding between him and Justin Jefferson, but I went with the quarterback, and I didn't expect Deshaun Watson to be there. So I'm happy with it.
JL, I had a moment where I was like, oh, that is sick at the turn. You got the stack with Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, but he's gone. He's in Miami.
He's in Miami.
But you still drafted him fairly early, so you still have confidence that Tyreek Hill is going to be a superstar wide receiver.
Oh yeah,
worthy of a pick like this.
Oh yeah, haven't you seen him play?
I
Dude's
have
incredible.
multiple times.
Times
I've seen him.
Both times I've seen him play, he's been fantastic.
Both highlights I've seen, he was really
he was
fast.
really
He did
very
such a
good.
job.
It's truly very good.
And then you grab Trevor Lawrence. Again, I feel like this is also you and Josh both usually don't secure up both of your quarterbacks this early. But
I'm not gonna lie, Josh talked me
into
into it a little bit.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
We got Shevin in here saying I need a ham NFT from JL. Yeah,
I got you, bro. I
Front
got
yard,
you.
front yard
idea.
hams. It's the
Front
next
yard
adventure.
hams. This will be the first one, the very
Honestly.
first ever.
Or is it ham yard fantasy?
Where
or
is it?
front
There you
yard?
go. Let's look at that bad boy.
You've been adding to it a little bit. You added,
I added
a
little bit.
why?
Is
Yeah,
that
a
like
little
the
bit of
glaze?
texture.
Is that the
Yeah.
glaze dripping
It's like
down?
the outside, like the inside's all pink and the outside's like some it looks like an oak tree almost.
We need some
That's
we
what
need
we
some
got going on.
pineapple on top of there.
Oh,
We got
yeah.
coming here now in here. What's up? Welcome into the mock draft today.
Oh man.
Kind of looks like a hairy ham now. I'm not gonna lie.
Joey, you just drafted George Kittle in the 3rd round.
Yes.
How do you feel about that compared to, say, Mark Andrews a little bit less than a round earlier?
I mean, I don't mind the value, especially in a 10 premium league. I got sniped on the Lamb pick and the Wilson pick. I would have gone Lamb instead of Cup and then Wilson instead of Kittle. So good job to the 2 guys around me. But I don't hate my team. This will be a fun experiment. That's why we mock draft.
Yeah, no quarterbacks through 3 rounds. I'm excited to see how this comes together because I like your start so far. Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, George Kittle. But JR, man, I really like JR's start so far with Jamar Chase, then Mark Andrews. Who I've seen a lot of people with
and then getting Justin Fields in the 3rd.
That's a hot start.
Justin Fields there in the 3rd round. God,
might
that
be
is
the biggest deal. It is the biggest deal.
that start. Oh man, that's a good one. By far that's my favorite team so far. I think. But Craig, we'll see what Craig does with his next pick because his is looking all right so far too. Jordan, question for you. Of the rookie quarterbacks that didn't necessarily have the start this year, so let's talk Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence played all season, but it was on maybe the worst offense we've ever seen for them. Hopefully going to be better. Justin Fields did not start all season, and Trey Lance had very limited action. Which of those guys do you expect to be the highest fantasy scorer next season in
I think
2022?
it's easily between Trey Lance and Trevor Lawrence. Nothing against Justin Fields, but talent evaluators didn't see him as like the go-getting type of prospect when we drafted. And then in the NFL, that whole season was a really shaky one with the ups and downs and new coaching staff. And the Bears can't really put anything around them just yet. The Fields leap will be next season when they have $100+ million in cap space and the ability to actually have a first round pick to go get some things. And then between Trevor Lawrence and Trey Lance, I'll trust Shanahan between the two, but it's not like it's a crazy big difference or a huge gap between them personally, because Trevor Lawrence does have legs. Peterson is going to get him to be that efficient type of player. And yes, they overpaid on these guys. They didn't exactly go get them, Devontae Adams or Tyreek Hill, but the receiving core is upgraded. The skill sets fit what they need to do. And then Trevor Lawrence with ETN coming back, the Jaguars are going to be much better offensively.
Mm-hmm. JL, did you have something there?
Can you imagine if they had just gotten like Devontae Adams?
Yeah.
Like it would be a totally different conversation about this team in the offseason.
Oh, people would have
idiots.
Devontae Adams dynasty managers would have been so upset if he went to Jacksonville instead of Las Vegas. I feel like that. I would have been excited as a Trevor Lawrence fan, and I think it would have been better for Devontae Adams than maybe people thought. I'm not saying it's an upgrade at all. I think both situations, Green Bay and Las Vegas, are probably better for him than Jacksonville until they prove otherwise, that they can sustain fantasy success at the wide receiver position. Jordan, yet again. No quarterback here on the turn. 4 rounds, no quarterback. Did you just not like the value on the guys that were sitting there?
Yeah, I mean, I was staring at Malik Willis, and I decided, I was like, I'm just going to take the guys that I know right now are better. And without knowing what team Malik Willis is on, I'm just not going to do that yet. Like, I'll pick him next round when he probably falls to me, considering basically everybody besides Joey has 2 quarterbacks.
And Craig.
Well, I guess Craig. Everybody else has 2 3
Well, you're talking about it, so you know it's not going to happen.
I mean, I saw that I got Nav to take Tua right before me. I was like, all right, I'm just going to get Tua and Waddle here. And then he took him, and I was like, I'll take Joe Mixon. That's fine.
I don't love talking about players that haven't been picked yet, but Malik Willis probably should be drafted before your next pick. I'm sorry if I ruined it.
It's a draft. It's a mock draft. It's a mock draft. Money. I'm comfortable talking. For me personally, I think Malik Willis is the only quarterback in this class that has that top 5 ceiling with fantasy. Not that he's going to get there.
Disagree, because I think a lot of these quarterbacks are able to run. I'm talking about pure ceiling, right? Pure ceiling. Like,
I just don't see it with Pickett personally. Like, he ran a little bit. He did the fake slide thing, but as a runner, he reminds me of like Joe Burrow, Andrew Luck, like that you'll get like 300, 400 yards in a match.
And I'm with you. He's not a dual threat quarterback. And I kind of just talked about this in this video I just did. But when it comes down to it, all these guys, I mean, Malik Willis is the best runner. It's not even close when you compare him to the other 3 or the other rookie quarterbacks. Kenny Pickett can run. Sam Howell can really run. And Matt Corral, actually, I think he's a better, he's better than all 3 of those other guys. And then Desmond Ridder obviously can run. So, but
I just don't trust them. I just don't trust them as a quarterback. Like, in personal, Matt Corral is probably the one that I like the most. I was into Kenny Pickett, but there's a lot of questionable things about him. I agree. He threw awful at the Senior Bowl and then continued throwing bad at the Combine. Oh, what's up, Simon? Hey.
Just saying his hands are so little.
Oh, yeah, no, he's got that weird. I mean, I saw Matt Rule and my guy ask him about the hand, and I'm praying that they just fall in love with Malik Willis if we're going to pick a quarterback. I'm going to be so disappointed if it's anybody other than Willis at quarterback. Wow, I didn't even see DJ Moore was there.
Yeah, JL, I'm really liking your team.
I almost took DJ Moore with my pick instead of Antonio Gibson.
I honestly
I think those guys are back-to-back in my rankings, Josh.
I have DJ Moore ranked above Antonio Gibson, but I just know wide receivers are so deep, and we only need to start 2 in this league.
Yeah,
which is a factor actually.
There are 2 flex spots though, so you can start up to 4 wide receivers. Just like whenever it's a 3 wide receiver, 1 flex. Actually, you can start up to 5 because there's a super flex spot as well. But generally, you're going to want a quarterback in that spot, but not every week. Know what I mean? During the season, there's plenty of times where you look at it, and if your options are like Trevor Siemian or this high upside wide receiver, and you need someone.
There it is.
You're probably going to go.
Yeah. No.
Oh,
Joey,
did you? So Joey, tell us a little bit about why you drafted Malik Willis.
I love that you guys were talking about him. So when it came to my turn, I looked at the teams ahead of me, and I saw that all of them except one had 2 quarterbacks already. So I felt like he would make it back to me. So that's why I went to Dalvin Cook and just crossed my fingers that Swamp would not take him. And he didn't. So I got my cake and I got to eat it too. So I'm very happy.
Yummy.
What kind of cake?
I kind of wish I had taken him now just to have ruined all your days.
I thought you might just to be, but
That guy.
I'm here. So
Man, I feel like that was a value on Travis Kelce that Craig got. What do you guys think in the 4th round right there? I know he's older, but man.
I was going to say, I'm not worried about his age. I'm worried about what the factors of Tyreek Hill leave. Because he had the whole middle of the field wide open to himself because you had to keep a safety to Tyreek Hill. You had to account for him. And now that that's MVS, yes, Kelsey's still a stud, but he's gonna get doubled the entire
time. JR.
That's the best part about not
You
drafting,
animal.
just watching you guys get sniped. That's
hilarious.
I get the joy. I'm on everybody who drafts before or after you.
You know JR is snickering right now.
I really wanted Traylon Burks. He's going to be a stud. He's going to be a stud. In my opinion, he's going to be a freaking stud.
I'm worried.
Alex said that DJ Moore pick destroyed me. I saw you got McLaurin right after, and I was just thinking how my pause in making that DJ Moore pick was, ooh, do I like McLaurin more than DJ Moore? So I had to check my Dynasty rankings. I have him 1 spot ahead. So I think that was a good pick, Alex.
It makes sense. Those two guys going in the same range like that. But man, I just feel like there's a very real world where once these guys get a quarterback, we see them going 2 rounds higher than this right now, right? We've seen flashes of unbelievable talent from these guys. Just they don't have anyone throwing them the ball.
Yep.
Yeah, no, these rookie receivers, because the fact that the Chiefs and Packers opened up for landing spots,
I know. Yeah.
These guys can go, I think, as high as the 3rd, the end of the 3rd.
The rookie receivers, Burks and Wilson.
Absolutely.
If the Packers traded up for Garrett Wilson, he would go in the 3rd round ahead of Waddle.
Yeah, that's exactly right above Waddle for sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm worried because I don't love this receivers class. I don't see anybody that's that guy. I don't see because I feel we're gonna have to have a class that doesn't have a Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase. We have to. It can't just be sustained forever. God damn it, Nav! You had to pick Waller. You had to do it.
Oh man, I really thought there was a
JR said you sniped him on an earlier pick on Deshaun, and said, "Good to be back. Too cold for golf practice today in New Jersey." Well, we're glad to have you in here, JR.
It was snowing here earlier.
Yeah, it was. My freaking AC went out. It's cold as hell.
If it makes you guys feel better, it is currently, let's see, 83 degrees in San Antonio.
Guys, it rained in California. Oh no.
Honestly, that's rough out in California if you're not used to the rain. Probably really messed up your day.
Honestly,
it's hot here. I got to get out of this heat.
I'll just take that.
Why don't you take your hoodie off?
But real fast, with Burks compared to Wilson,
this is just a
little bit higher. I'm a little bit higher on Burks, but Wilson is right there next to him for me. So it's really if one lands in a much better situation than the other, I'm probably going to have him ranked higher, which probably is not the greatest logic to use, but
no, it's not. They're in the same tier.
Well. Yeah, exactly.
No,
they're in the same tier.
I 100% agree with you on that, Josh. Whichever lands in a better spot will be my wide receiver 1 from the rookie class.
I'm not someone to ever really dive into the hype. I'm just going to do it. Screw it. I'm not someone to really dive into the hype.
Is that Marvin Jones?
Yes.
I love that car pick, honestly.
Nice pick.
That's not. That is not Marvin. That is not Marvin. I'm sorry. You can still.
Never mind. I hate your team.
Stupid pick.
But with with Traylon Burks, I'm not a combine guy, but his combine really disappointed me. From a person who was super excited about his athleticism,
did you tell him that?
If I could have, I would have. But Garrett Wilson blew me
so
away.
Impressive though, Traylon Burks.
He's just so raw. That's the I don't want him to go to Green Bay because I don't know if he gets that work until year 2. That's just
it could be a Devontae Adams situation where Devontae Adams, people were so high on him because what happened? Someone got hurt that year. He was a rookie.
Jordy
Nelson got it. So everyone was drafting Devontae Adams so high, and he disappointed everyone. And the next year, he was the top option for him. Thank you. Because I didn't
I would rather have Olave or Olav or however you guys want to say it to Green Bay or Garrett Wilson because I think they're ready right away. And Burks also doesn't win quick. Rather have Burks in New York Jets because I think with
They'll just throw it to him.
yeah, you just throw it up. Like Wilson doesn't care.
Maria said, "Come on over, Simon. It's still cold in here. It is.
Okay, I'm
I'm
coming.
still
Dude,
very, very
Joey,
cold.
has
Right
the
now.
weather been up there like beautiful? Because it's
Has
been
the weather been up
clouds.
there?
It was because Georgetown, South Florida. I'm here in,
Up there,
Central
meaning
Florida.
just further in Florida.
Yeah.
Man.
Slightly more north than Florida.
It's freaking gorgeous down here. It's clear skies and like 68, 70. Sorry, boys.
No worries.
I did this one for Vincent, by the way, my last pick. Not actually. I think it was a good pick regardless. but-
Yeah, I was thinking about picking him over
For you,
Carr.
Vincent.
I was staring at him. I just couldn't do it.
That Brady pick tilted me a little bit because I thought he would make it back.
Oh, you
Come
homer.
here
I
now.
just-
Said Josh was like, I have to convert to a Steelers fan. JL says, what? Josh says, yes. JL approaches and slaps Josh.
You know what? That'd be a
Keep-
fair.
keep-
That would be a fair reaction to anybody on this
Yeah.
stream converting.
Yeah, I
to
don't
a
want to hear a
Steelers
word
fan.
at you, Josh.
Yeah.
If there's one thing we can agree on, it's that nobody's allowed to convert to a Steelers fan.
Yeah.
Keep the team's
To be
name out
honest,
of your mouth.
Cam Akers
Here.
kind of ended a tier of running back for me, by the way.
Cam Akers. And where's Vincent? I saw him in here earlier saying Cam Akers hasn't been drafted
mean-
yet. That was at
If
221.
Leonard Fournette, Travis Etienne, Ezekiel, they could all finish above Cam Akers this season, but for me, Cam Akers does kind of.
Jail, I know.
I'll
I know
take
you were
Kenneth
sad
Walker
about
in
that
there.
Elliott pick right ahead of you.
I like
JL.
one. I like
didn't know
Kenneth
I was on
Walker
the
a
clock.
lot.
Oh,
I
I
did
do
not
too.
expect the 4.38 out of him.
Shh.
Hey man, he's literally the first guy in the ranking. Why is Isaiah Spiller so here?
Wait,
What
what's
is-
going on?
Why is Isaiah Spiller all the way up here? He does not deserve to be
Listen,
up here.
I still think he's the third running back for sure for me in this rookie class.
I don't know if he gets picked till the 4th or 5th in the real
If
draft.
that happens, I'm gonna
Yeah.
throw up a little bit.
I mean, I don't think he gets picked over James Cook because I think James Cook
Really?
brings an element. I truly believe that, like, when you're looking at Isaiah Spiller, he just was so unathletic, injury concerns, and then when you look at James Cook, you know what his role can be. And if you're in the 4th round and you're a team like, who's the perfect example for this? Minnesota.
Zach Moss was kind of getting a lot of hype coming in the draft.
Oh,
He ended
yeah.
up being like a 4th, 5th round pick, and
Yeah,
maybe
that's true.
kind of similar to Spiller in some ways. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they do
Ooh.
have a lot of similar. Wow, that's a big. That he did not have a running back, and all of a sudden he's got a group of guys.
That's what I was going to say. Brady took the anti-Simon approach here and went zero wide receiver through
I knew you were
the
going to make that pick, Joey.
7th round right there. But you know what, Brady? I kind of like the way your team is shaping up. I'm curious to see what your wide receiver core looks like. But the comment from Brady saying, I've never seen so much RB value in the 6th round. I was going to say something earlier in this draft.
Beautiful.
Through 3 rounds, only 7 running backs were drafted through 3 rounds. That's probably the fewest running backs through 3 rounds in any format I've seen.
Brees Hall was one of those.
Yeah, and Brees Hall was one of those 7 running backs up there.
Hot take that he should be.
yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
not
don't
so
think
hot, but
I don't think it's that hot
Hey.
anymore.
take.
That's why I laughed.
JR has a question for us. Wants to know, should I give up Lazard for a 2023 second? How about Hollywood Brown for Montgomery? I say yes to both. Joey, what do you think? Let's start with the Lazard one. Lazard for a 2023 second. Which side would you prefer there?
As things stand right now, I would probably take Lazard. And I know, yeah,
I'm with you.
if they don't add anyone else, and I was going to bring up the Packer situation with JL's pick of Aaron Jones, that if things stay the way they are and they don't really add anyone too impressive, that Aaron Jones pick is beautiful because he's going to catch so many passes. I mean, think of what Eckler did last year, maybe just a step down.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, Joey. I would prefer Lazard. If the situation doesn't change, he's just in for it's got to be a lot of work.
Is
for
Volume.
this
him.
a
And he's already
Superflex
got
second, or is this a regular 1 QB second?
I don't know, JL. Give us your answer for both if it changes.
Does it change your answer?
No, I'll take Lazard in both cases.
I think I'd take a second and probably both, depending. 1 QB a little more iffy. If it was a early second, then yes.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, Jordan, I wanted to ask you about the Hollywood Brown for Montgomery trade. Which side of this would you prefer, Montgomery or Hollywood Brown?
It's a lot closer than people think, just because of like Montgomery is a running back, so the positional is huge for that regard. I think it's really dependent on what your roster looks like from the running back and receiver room, because Hollywood has not failed as a receiver so far. The volume on the offense will be a lot different this year, though, because Dobbins and Gus Edwards will be back. Ravens, if they I mean, a lot of people are mocking them Linderbaum, and they'll finally get that guy that they've been missing in Yonda / type of player. So
I'll take that all
might
day.
change. And I mean, for most cases, I'm taking Montgomery, but it just depends on what the rest of your roster looks like.
Yep, I think I agree with you fully there. I think that's a super fair trade, Hollywood Brown for Montgomery. In a vacuum, I probably prefer Hollywood Brown, but that vacuum doesn't exist in fantasy. And in most situations, you're probably more needy for a running back. Like I have very few teams where I have like a surplus at running back, but I've got quite a few teams where I have a surplus at wide receiver. But I would keep Lazard and probably, I don't know, the next one's iffy, but Tamian saying keep Lazard and get Monty right here.
Oh yeah.
And Jordan, I saw you just drafted 2 receivers on new teams, Juju Smith-Schuster and Amari Cooper. How do you feel about their new situations?
I mean, the complete upgrade in the quarterback room, pending legal allegations and everything going on with the Amari Cooper side. But even so, Amari Cooper should be guaranteed a consistent workload with that offense with Donovan Peoples-Jones as the second guy. Anthony Schwartz, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. There's no real tight end in the room either. So it's just going to be him getting targeted.
Disrespect for Njoku and Harrison Bryant.
I like Harrison Bryant, but like Amari Cooper is going to get 120 plus targets.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Didn't they franchise tag David Njoku?
Yeah. The tight end market went nuts, dude. That's the problem.
Interesting.
Ian Thomas got $6 million. Why? I'm like, what did he do? He blocks a little bit occasionally sometimes.
I think if you catch a ball, your value just went through the roof this year. All these pass catchers just getting crazy contracts.
I'll find it because I know it's on PFF and I'm literally right on the site. In terms of yards per route run, I want to find the exact. I'm pretty sure Ian Thomas was like top 10 in routes last year, despite being the only. Yeah. Robbie Anderson was 14th, and he had 0.83 yards per route run, just to give you an idea of how bad he was. Where's Ian Thomas?
Hiding from you. While you're finding that, Jordan, we're going to hit this question from John Edwards. He said, "What's up, guys? What are your thoughts on Barkley? Just have a gut feeling he might have a good year. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Well, you have a wonderful, blessed day as well, John.
What up, John?
And Joey, we'll come to you first on this one. How do you feel about Barkley this year? Do you think it's a bounce back year for him?
I think he has the possibility of a bounce back. I've not honestly looked much into Barkley. I've got him outside my top 12 for sure. I don't think outside the top 20. I do want to see what the Giants do, though.
Like RB2 range is kind of what you're looking at
RB2
with Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
JL, what about you? I think maybe you've been a little bit higher on some of these players like the Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, these guys that had down years, usually injury-based than some others. How do you feel about Barkley?
I feel great about Barkley. It's gonna be dependent on which offense he's on. If he's on the Giants again, which it's looking like, there's been no news that I've seen related to that. So assuming that he is still on the Giants, he's going to be limited by that offense. I'm curious to see what they do in this draft. If they go offensive line, which I think they absolutely should, then I will be a little bit more bullish on Saquon. But I believe in his talent, and I think whether he's on the Giants or another team, he's still going to be a very good fantasy option.
Checks out. And we have a question from Swamp for Josh. So, Josh, which RBO draft is your fave for next Sepels for redraft?
Yes, Josh. Tell us. Tell us, Josh.
So yep. Jonathan Taylor.
It is Jonathan Taylor. Swamp is the answer to your question.
I feel like that covered
Nailed it, Josh.
bases.
Nailed it.
Either Jonathan Taylor or Breece Hall, I think, is the answer to your question.
Not positive.
I'm gonna pee my pants.
I found Ian Thomas. He ran 467 routes for a whopping 0.3 yards per route run, and he just got $6.5 million or some nonsense. I think it was like 2 years, 10.5 or whatever. So David Njoku getting $10 million to catch those 4 passes a year. It makes sense.
Hey, it checks out. And Hooper's gone, so maybe they just envision a bigger role for Njoku right there. Yeah. And Swamp said, text to talk didn't work. Sorry, I'm at work. It's all good, Swamp. We're just messing with you.
If you want to rephrase it, put it in there again, I'm happy.
Text to talk not work.
Does anybody have Steeples as their Twitter handle yet? Because if not, I'm going to lock that bitch down. Oh, God.
The next Steeples.
When I first
And
read it, I
Swamp,
was
look
like,
at that.
Swamp, you stinky
I feel like an
butthole.
idiot.
Whoa, relax.
Was that your pick, JL? You were going to
Oh,
go some
yes.
Dalton Schultz there. Now you got
That's
to
good value.
reevaluate.
Yes.
It's great
Good
value
value.
on Dalton Schultz, Swamp.
Yeah. Great job,
Epic.
Swamp. Freaking
Epic threw it
Especially
off a
for
little
the
bit,
team
taking
he's building.
Fireman.
He's building like more of a win now team, I feel like, and you throw Schultz in there. And Schultz isn't old. It's not like I'm worried about him. It's just I feel like he needs to be on the Cowboys. They trust him with Dak, you know.
I worry about
Absolutely,
sustained
yeah.
value for Schultz. I think he's
Yeah,
got value
yeah,
for
yeah.
next season, but I'm not sure he's the kind of player where like he's not going to be challenged by other players if he switches teams or someone being brought in. They're not going to be afraid to bring in a better tight end because they have Dalton Schultz. So I just worry about long-term security with him. Next season, I think he's great.
Okay.
There's the question.
Yeah, there we go.
That's a good question. Swamp.
Okay, Swamp or Josh, from the RBs I drafted, Josh, which one is your favorite for next season?
That question is nowhere near as fun.
No, no, not near as fun. But it's a great question. You'd think like he drafted, 4 running backs in 4 different rounds, like their value would be easily differentiated, But for just next season, Nick Chubb, Josh Jacobs, Ezekiel Elliott, James Conner, any one of these 4 guys could be the highest scoring running back. I've said before, I think Josh Jacobs is going to have the best year of his career this next season. If Deshaun Watson plays with Nick Chubb, I'm probably going to end up going him. But honestly, I think it might be James Conner, to be completely honest with you. So good running back, Swamp.
Jordan, what do you think? Which of those 4 running backs?
I was talking to Joey today about this. Josh Jacobs, I actually do believe, because with that offense, what are you going to do in the red zone if they split out Waller to the left and then they have stacked receivers with Devontae Adams and Renfro running a rub route? You're not going to be – if you go put 2 defenders or multiple defenders on that side of the ball, then Josh Jacobs is going to have an easy running lane. And we just saw Damian Harris and the Josh McDaniel scheme. Like, I don't think Jacobs is going to catch many passes, which of this group, they all kind of don't. They're all a bunch of really good, just pure runners. And with Jacobs, he's more talented than Damian Harris. He was better when he was at Alabama for us. And with him in this offense, they're going to score a lot more points, which will lead to him possibly getting to that 13 touchdown range for rushing touchdowns specifically.
Yeah, and I think something everyone's wanted since Jacob came into the league was for him to catch more passes. That was kind of part of his profile when he got drafted, right? We expected him to be a pass catching back, and we haven't really seen it. So I'm holding out some hope that maybe he sees a bit more of that this year with the new coaching staff, but I'm not going to project anything along those lines. I think if anything, it just raises his ceiling. The fact that there's a new coaching staff and he has that in his repertoire of skills we know from when he was coming out of college. Excuse me. I'm so sorry for that yawn right there, guys.
The way they did this receiver rankings on Sleeper right now is completely throwing me off. I keep scrolling because I didn't see Courtland Sutton was there when I picked Amari Cooper and Juju. Probably would have picked Sutton over one of them. I did not see Mike Evans, and I don't know if I just scrolled past him or what, but pretty disappointing.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I feel like every time we do a mock draft, he just gets drafted later and later and later. Like, I swear it goes down a round every time we draft.
And I was defending it for a while, and now I'm kind of in the realm where this is fine for me. Really.
Does the Rojo news scare you off from him at all?
Yes.
Rojo isn't the man either. So
I mean,
no.
I think
either was the key word
Josh,
there.
You watch your mouth.
Herm's about to jump into the stream right now and fight you for the Rojo slander.
I think Rojo is the better runner, and I think Rojo will lead them in carries. Personally,
I think Rojo will have the most rushing yards maybe for the team next year with 600 or whatever. So
I mean, I don't think it'll be that low. I think he'll get in the low 200s of carries. I think Clyde is going to catch more passes, so for PPR, it's close, but their backfield's a nightmare.
Was said back, not to talk about it too much in case anybody takes him, was said back drafted yet?
No.
Rojo?
No. Not that I know of.
Also, Austin in here saying, where does the Josh Jacobs doesn't get passes come from? He had 64 targets and 54
he had the
receptions
5th most catches last year, actually.
You're right, Austin.
They was all
that's
during
a new
stretch of
Kenyon Drake, too.
Kenyon Drake after Kenyon Drake went down.
Yeah. And
sure
they didn't have Darren Waller for most of that time.
We can't.
No Henry Ruggs, obviously.
It came from the first couple of years of John Gruden using him poorly and not getting him the passes.
Yeah.
So this past year, he got a lot of passes. So it was a big shift.
JR, you
when
sniped me
Kenyon
again, by the
Drake
way.
went down, he had a 9-catch for 38-yard game, and then 5 catches, and then 4, and then 4. So like, it was very prevalent that they weren't good. Oh, and also when John Gruden got fired.
Yeah.
That was the other thing.
Austin, I think this is a great point. He did see that volume last year, but the narrative around him at this point comes from probably the previous seasons where he was used less optimally with his skill set, maybe. But that's a great point. I think I definitely overlook that whenever I'm thinking about this past season for Josh Jacobs. Devin Singletary, those Buffalo running backs.
Who did it?
Fantasy Nav. Eric did it. Joe, you want to tell us a little bit about why you wanted Devin Singletary?
Looking at the running backs that are left, because I only have 2. I like Singletary. I like his workload that he's going to get in Buffalo, or supposed workload.
Yeah, and
I'm still reeling from the news that it has happened. So, a little bit perturbed right now. But I think Eric is leading our March Madness contest.
Is he?
Last
It's
I
not
looked.
me.
I
I know that for sure.
It's definitely not
tied
me. It's
I will double check
definitely
that.
not.
Josh, you were tied
me.
for 10th last I saw.
I am not tied for 10th anymore.
There was a lot of rumors that I had set the contest up to rig it, and just to dispel those rumors, I'm tied for 33rd. Yes,
Yeah, I'm probably around there, Joey, with you.
Eric is leading,
was-
but he picked Kentucky to win. So
I don't want to brag, but I did get one of the final 4 right, so pretty good over here. I got 1 of 4. Villanova,
Oh,
baby.
dude, I was-
there you go.
The other day, I realized Coach K's first national championship win came against Arizona. And it also so happens that obviously he's playing North Carolina this weekend, and Villanova or Kansas is going to be playing Villanova, who lost their best player. So Coach K is going to go probably beat UNC and then go play the team he originally beat in the national championship.
Yeah,
Don't get too ahead of yourself on them beating UNC.
No, I agree, but I'll just take. And Joey, I'm sorry, you're not getting Pollard. I'm sorry.
To add some
Yeah,
numbers to this conversation about Josh Jacobs, the last 2 seasons, so 2019 he had 20 receptions, 2020 he had 33 receptions, and then almost doubled that last year with 54 receptions.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that makes sense. Makes sense why we view him in that light.
Yeah.
Jordan, you were correct on Coach K beating. It was Kansas for the first national title.
Yes,
you said Arizona.
sorry. But
it was Kansas. But you're right, because I saw your graphic earlier, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, isn't that a fun little fact?"
Oh yeah, no, and he also beat Roy Williams while he was coaching at Kansas. Obviously, it's not Roy, but Roy went to UNC later. So yeah.
I like Roy Williams as a spectator more than I like him as a coach. He's just very entertaining.
No, this bracket's been awesome. It's like whole tournament's been a very, very like usually the tournament lives up to it, but a lot of times the 1 seeds dominate, and every 1 seed besides Kansas was eliminated in the Sweet 16 or Elite 8. Like everybody was getting knocked off.
It's been a fun tournament for sure. And for the 4th year running, my girlfriend will beat me in our March Madness bracket competition yet again. I can't beat her. I literally can't beat her.
Did she pick the Peacocks?
She did. She picked them to win their first round matchup. She did not pick the rest of the run, but she did pick the Peacocks over Kentucky, which was just like a punch in the stomach.
Dude, I didn't see Kareem. What's going on with my
Leanne.
freaking ADP here? I did not see
Gary
Kareem Hunt.
with the Kareem Hunt pick. I feel like that's great value on Kareem Hunt. That's
Considering
disgusting.
like he's been going like in the 6th for the last 3 years, knowing it's all Nick Chubb.
So Jordan, the last 2 picks this team made, Gary, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Kareem Hunt. Which one do you prefer for next season?
Ooh, next season, I prefer Kareem. Personally, yeah.
I think I'm right there with you, Joey. I see you shaking your head. What do you think?
No, I was shaking my head about the draft.
Oh, well, what do you think about Kareem Hunt
Chase
versus Clyde
Edmonds-Helaire.
Edwards-Helaire for next season?
I would rather have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I do like Hunt, but I think that Edwards-Helaire, if it's Rojo just behind him, and I don't think Darrell Williams is coming back, if this is the last chance I'm giving him, though.
Okay, Josh, I'm going to come to you because you said you're just now coming to terms with being okay with drafting CEH here. Which one of those 2 guys would you prefer for next season? Just 2022.
Yeah.
Brady's
For
about to
just
pick another wide
2022,
receiver.
I'm These are two guys I'm low on. Obviously, I'm usually lower on Kareem Hunt than most people. I'd probably take an upside shot at Clyde Edwards-Helaire right now for next season, just because I know Nick Chubb's going to be the number one running back. I don't know Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to necessarily take that backseat to Ronald Jones. I think they're going to split carries, so I guess I'll take the shot on Clyde Edwards-Helaire later in the draft if he's a value there, but I'm not going to reach for either one of these guys.
And Austin in here saying if CEH or Rojo is anything more than a bye week RB for you, you're in for a rough year. Possibly, but these are also the kinds of guys, if you draft 0 RB, I think CEH is a great late round target because like Josh said, he has the upside to be a 3-down back if something happens to Rojo. And at worst, he's probably splitting in one of the best offenses in the league. So while he doesn't necessarily have the upside for some of these early round guys, but look at who's going around him. I think CEH is a great late round value for these 0 RB teams right here.
I mean, would you guys rather have Chase Edmonds or Clyde/Hunt?
Joey? As the Chase Edmonds drafter,
I'm going to stick with who I drafted. I actually probably would prefer Chase Edmonds. I think that Miami offense is going to be really great next year, and Edmonds is going to get the receiving running back work.
Yeah, I agree
so
with
I
that.
like Edmonds a lot, which I did not like him last year at all with just how Arizona was.
Adapt. Matt Ryan, is that who you were going to draft?
Yeah, man. We have a really smart
swamp, Nola. We have such a smart swamp. We got the smartest swamp in the biz with that pick.
I would say. I've never met a smarter swamp.
Me neither. We've got one team here though that went very heavy on the 0 wide receiver strategy, and Brady is in here saying love the 0 wide receiver strategy. JL, I wanted to come to you just as a whole. How do you feel about how Brady's team turned out from that 4 spot? Didn't take their first wide receiver until the 8th round with Cortland Sutton.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, let's see. Let's take a
No, you did not go
here.
0 wide receiver.
No,
JL.
that's why I was wondering why
Dude,
said
he
that.
picks Kyle Pitts. What do you mean? He didn't go 0 wide receiver.
According to Sleeper, he did.
Saquon, Dobbins, ETN, Kenneth Walker, Sutton, Claypool, Gallup. Yep, those wide receivers make me not feel so good. I would say.
Is anyone more optimistic about Brady's wide receiver core for a 0 wide receiver team? Maybe view it through the lens his running backs and quarterbacks and
Brady.
tight ends.
Keep drafting those wide receivers. Keep drafting them.
Keep getting those shots. Yeah,
I mean,
taking them. There we go.
There you go.
He
like
loves ACL tears. That's his favorite thing when it comes to wide receivers. Just guys who have at least torn it once. Because if you haven't, he's not being a part of the team.
Brady's
I like Sutton and Gallup.
And Pickens.
Yeah.
No, I like the wide receivers, but I don't like any one of them as my number 1 wide receiver for my dynasty team. Not any of them. Unless Sutton is the number 1 option for Russell Wilson. We don't know yet.
Which he could be. He very well could be.
They're going to have it's going to be a fun discussion. I was telling most people, I was like, I'm going to treat Sutton and Judy and Waddle and Tyreek Hill the way that I've treated Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods for the last 4 years.
Okay.
I'll just figure it out when I'm drafting. I have no idea.
Well, it
which
sounds like
one
you're
I
going to be
better.
higher on both of them than the majority of people are right now, honestly. Because, if you're thinking in that range, they were 4th, 5th round, 6th round picks at least, right?
I think the hype with Russ will kind of start to come back. I mean, I don't think that they're going to have. I don't want both of them on my team. They're like one of those receiving groupings that I'm not doing that at all. Because, fun fact, Russ has never thrown for over 4,300 yards his entire career. I thought he got to 45 or more.
What if they let him cook?
Yeah, have you considered that?
They can let him. I mean, the stadium got set on fire, guys. I don't think they want to do that.
They were letting him cook way too much.
way too frequently.
It's that high altitude cooking. It changes the cook times and stuff like that. He just wasn't used to it up there in Denver.
It's true. That's very true.
I just learned that fact last week that it changes the way you have to cook things at high altitudes. I had no idea, but science, it makes sense. I guess.
You learned that from your YouTube
Where am
show,
I?
Mr.
Probably
Voice.
I didn't know that
from my YouTube show.
Your YouTube travel guide.
Yeah, I taught myself that on my YouTube show that I run.
Oh.
Yeah, I watched my own video back and learned that. You'll never find my travel channel on YouTube. It's secret.
No, good luck.
What?
Tried for years.
I'm surprised that this guy has fallen this far.
Is he okay?
Yeah,
I was going to take him last time, but
I know that
Which one are you
obviously
talking
he's.
about?
Well, he's
Okay.
got the
No offense,
quarterback
no.
consistency. Know what I mean? That's got to be for something.
No, I mean, no, I actually like Marcus Mariota from a fantasy standpoint. I think he'll have a. I don't think
He'll run.
Atlanta's going quarterback this year because I think Fontenot, the GM over there, is looking at. I've got $120 million in cap. If we can be real bad this year, and I can get Bryce Young and have $130 million, yep, we'll be fine. We'll be a quick turnaround in Atlanta.
Man, that probably wouldn't feel good as Marcus. I feel like if they don't draft a quarterback, then as Marcus Mariota, he knows what their plan is, and he's the guy they picked for the job. You know what I mean? Like that would probably hurt your feelings.
I mean, he doesn't have to be the worst. They just have to be a top 10 team because their defense is awful. They have AJ Terrell, and outside of Clemson country over there, they don't have anybody else.
Still on that team?
Yeah, they were going to trade him for Deshaun Watson, but that obviously didn't fall through. The Texans were holding this whole thing of we want 2 young players on rookie contracts and multiple first round picks, and the Browns were able to be like, here's a bunch of picks, and they're like, all right, we'll take it. No young players.
Sniped again, Joey.
Rondale Moore. I like that pick in the 12th round.
Joey, I like your Davis Mills pick there in the 11th round.
Thank you.
I feel like that is you're getting what we assume is a starting quarterback with potential to prove it, right? Like I don't think anyone's projecting him as the long-term starter, but he's got a shot. If he goes out there and plays well, he could be the long-term starter.
Yeah.
How are you viewing him?
He's serviceable. He's a matchup quarterback. When the matchup's good for him on a week, especially in Superflex, plug him in there. And just the way my team constructed together, Willis, I might have to wait a week or two before I think he's going to start week 1 wherever he goes. If he goes to the Lions, maybe they give Goff a week, 2 weeks. But let's look at it.
Yeah, so Davis Mills can fill that gap for you while you're
he can fill the gap, and then once Willis is there, if he has a slow start or if Tannehill has a slow start or middle run, I can mix and match. So I'm happy with it. I'd rather have Matt Ryan than Davis Mills, to be honest. This is the way this team is, but
it worked out. I think you bounced back well after getting sniped on that Matt Ryan pick. Maria wants to know, JL, by the end of the stream, will we have a reveal of the final ham drawing?
I think that's only fair.
Okay, maybe after your last pick. After your last pick, you'll reveal us your ham.
Brady picked
I'll
another
show you
guy.
guys my ham.
Guys, stick around to the end and you'll get to see JL's ham.
Brady picked another player coming off an ACL tear.
He loves his ACLs.
He's got 4 good intact ACLs on the roster. Even J.K. Dobbins tore it. Etienne's off the Achilles.
You're really right.
JL, it makes a lot of sense you took Baker since you're drawing ham.
That makes sense.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day.
You're here all day.
Okay, JL, can we get that final reveal before we log off for today?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
What's the side? Are those mashed potatoes with gravy?
Yeah, how'd you know?
It looks just like that.
Is it mac and cheese? It can be mac and cheese.
No, I just said it's mashed potatoes and gravy.
Nope.
The only thing that could
way the
potentially
picture-
be added to that is pineapple circles on top of the ham. That's it, I think.
Well, you draw it then.
No, JL,
Yeah.
I said the only
He's
thing
making a
missing.
good point,
No.
JL. He's making a good point.
The way you were holding the book up, I thought you had little salt and pepper shakers, and I was just like, this is just the cutest show ever.
Guys, thank you everybody who joined in and mock drafted with us today. This has been one of my favorite mock drafts we've done so far. I feel like there was a lot to talk about. It didn't play out like most of our drafts have. The tight end premium affected it a little bit, but I think we're just seeing values really start to change right now. So I'm glad we're doing these every week. Excited for the next one. But before we go, I want to remind everybody watching one last time, if you have not done so already, if the rest of this stream did not convince you, this is your final warning call to do it. Go follow our friend Jordan on Twitter. He's on Twitter at Jordan Vanek DFS. It is right there below his beautiful face on the screen and below Matt Rule's beautiful face right behind him. So make sure you guys go follow him on Twitter right this instant. Everybody else who was in here, thank you so much again for drafting with us. We will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time for some more fantasy football game show fun. So make sure you tune in then. Come hang out with us. Come play some more games. Until tomorrow, though, we are out of here, everybody. Adios.
Trading makes fantasy fun.
Woo!
It's so